Good morning, world. Let me cut this light on right here. My wife forgot to put the light on. Bam, that's a little better. This is another episode of the Purpose Pod. Welcome. We're getting all situated. The main goal of this podcast is to set you on a path towards your purpose. So if you're interested in gaining more wisdom and knowledge and you're interested in transforming your life through entrepreneurship, personal development, and taking your business or your life to the next level, this is the podcast for you. Today is a special day because we're talking about money. Everybody loves money, but you need to know what to do with your money. So I'm going to bring on the great Miss Tatiana Pisarski. Hello, welcome, Tatiana.
Hi, how are you?
Hand claps. Hey, Tatiana.
Nice seeing you.
The green is awesome, and I'm gonna say this again, but the background is so amazing.
Thank you. You like it?
It's show the world that your background.
Trade and trying. Love Charlotte. And the green, UNC-Charlotte, get it?
You got the green on, and I'm over
here. Yes, 49er. You're a 49er too.
Yeah, I'm a 49er. You know,
yes.
Soon to be graduating in December. So you went to UNC-Charlotte, and so go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and your background, financial, school stuff. Like, go ahead and tell us about that.
Yes, so I'm originally from Republic of Moldova. I had moved to Charlotte in 2000 with my parents. I was in 8th grade at that time. Finished middle school, went through high school, ended up going to UNC-Charlotte, where I studied finance and economics. Loved the school. I wasn't that involved while I was there. I was working at the same time. But after graduating, I decided, to get involved. And recently, past few years, I've been, more involved with the school and currently sit on the Alumni Board of Directors. And it's a great school. I am telling you, the university doesn't get enough credit for what we have to offer. The green, got to support 49ers.
Go Niners!
Yeah.
That's awesome though. So how was your college experience? Was it were you did you struggle at all, or did you just fly through it?
It flew by, I don't even remember much. It seems like such a long time ago, 15 years, I think. I was class of 08, a long time ago. But now I wish, looking back, I wish I would have done more, attended more groups, gotten involved, more into more projects and things. We didn't have a football team. I should have attended some of the games. I didn't, which is unfortunate. So now I'm trying to make it up, and we go, my family and I would go to the games and we go to the events. Yeah.
That's good though. So you and your family, so your husband, you got kids and stuff, right? So what's your family looking like?
Yes, husband, he's actually from Ukraine, and 2 kids, 9 and 7. So we're all kind of at home trying to manage homeschooling and working from home. Yeah. Craziness.
Are you having to teach them at all? Like, are you having to be more of a teacher?
I am not a good teacher. No. No, my son told his teacher, he said, Ms. Kemp, please email my dad assignments because he's in charge of our homeschooling. So clearly I was fired from that job.
Oh, wow. You got fired. You got fired as a mom teacher.
As a teacher, which I'm fine with, to be honest. Yeah. There are things that you're good at and there are things you're not.
That's true. See, that's lesson number 1, guys. There are things you're good at and there's things you're not good at.
And it's fine to accept that.
And it's fine to accept that. So it's okay. It's not failure. It's just, it's not for you, right?
Exactly.
See, you're already dropping gems right now, Tatiana. Come on,
definitely.
Girl.
Yeah.
So why did you choose the finance degree?
Funny that you ask. It was actually my dad's advice. He said, we love Charlotte. We'll probably end up staying here for a long time. And it's a financial district. After New York, if you have a degree in finance, you will probably always have a job. And that's kind of exactly what happened. I never really had to look for a job. And finance is so broad. You can do anything. Every company has a department for finance. So my background during college, I was at Wachovia. Do you remember Wachovia?
Yeah, I remember Wachovia. It was it was right up the street from my grandma's house.
In mortgage, and then in 2008, Wells Fargo bought us out. So They let us go, and I got into accounting for a little bit. That was fun. Not my thing. Once again, if you're real with yourself and you understand that it's just not your strength. I took a couple years off after that, had the kids, and then when they went back to school, went back into finance on the services side.
Okay.
I'm a financial services professional now. Yep.
Okay. So I might need to switch my major then at the last minute. I'm graduating in December, but I might just need to change it, for the finance industry. I think that would have been, I think everyone needs a background in finances, because understanding your financial goals and plans and what is the options are important, right? So like, how did you start your career off? Did you graduate college and go straight into a job? Like you said, you didn't have to really look for it. So
yeah, I was already in finance during college. I was in mortgage, loan officer assistant, and I knew everything there was about, the whole process of getting a loan. So I was thinking to probably become a loan officer, maybe a processor, an underwriter down the road. But because restructuring happened, had a change of plans. I'm grateful that I got to try accounting, even though, now I know it's not for me.
Yeah.
I will never think, oh, I should have gotten into that, because it's just, it's not something I enjoyed 100%. But yeah, my whole career, I've been doing something in finance. And like I said, in Charlotte, there's plenty of opportunities. You just have to pick and choose which area you want to be in.
Okay. So let's talk to that college student at UNC-Charlotte right now that's looking at this podcast and they're like, man, I want to be there one day. I want to be where she is one day. Do you have any advice for them, just as a college student getting ready to graduate college maybe, and you have this corona crisis right now?
It's crazy,
and so summer internships are out the door. They're you can't really get, maybe they can do it online or something, but so do you have any advice for them to do right now? Should they study more? Should they review more material, which people don't want to do?
Right. Yeah. Times are crazy right now. It's definitely different, and I actually graduated in during the 2008 economic downturn.
Okay.
And I was still able to find a job. So yes, it's harder. And I think during hard times, you have to rely on your connections and contacts. My biggest piece of advice would be to don't burn any bridges. Be a nice person, because you never know when you're going to need someone down the road. I mean, I still keep in touch with my manager from Wachovia. We're friends on Facebook.
Wow.
And I will be forever grateful to him that he gave me that opportunity. I was 18. I was barely 18.
Yeah.
And he gave me that chance. And that was a head start to my, career in finance. And my next job, like literally, I'm friends with every single manager. And you could, down the road, you might need them as a mentor. You might need a job and they could help you out. Or, you could need advice, and that they'll be there if you keep in touch. And I would say studying is important, but your connections and your network is big. It's huge.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Tatiana, for that. Because a lot of younger people, they don't understand the importance of networking and being, even if it's your boss or your manager, your professor, even like you want to keep those bridges alive and well.
Exactly.
Like I had an incident, but my middle school teacher, she had invited me to speak at my old middle school, and that
That's
if
awesome.
I wasn't bad, but I was a little mixy as a kid. But she remembered me, she remembered me. The other teachers remembered me, and they had that level of respect for me because of the respect that I have for them. So it is important to keep your bridges connected and don't burn your bridges.
Exactly.
Or else you'll have to jump off. And it's a terrible, terrible jump when you have to jump off that bridge. But that's so what does your job consist of as a financial advisor? Like, what does it consist of? And who do you have to talk to? I'm sorry. Who do you have to
so
talk
right
to?
now, part of the reason why I got into financial services is because as an advisor, you can work with anyone. You can, whether it's an individual, it's a family, or it's a business. Like I said, finance is one of those things that affects everyone in some shape or form.
Yeah.
So yeah, I specialize in working with people on their future goals, financial goals and strategies, how to reach those goals. And it looks different for everyone. Someone might be starting from scratch, from zero, just graduated, just landed their first job. Where do we start? How do we put a decent plan in place? To, maybe someone else who is in the accumulation phase where they have a family, a mortgage, that they're wanting to save up maybe more than before.
Yeah.
What's a good way to save as much as you can to make sure you have a nest egg down the road? And then also we'll work with older folk who already have everything accumulated.
Yeah.
And how, we'll come up with tools and strategies for them to enjoy retirement, because they've done all this planning. Now, it's your money. You got to enjoy it. So
yeah. So you work with people in every stage, so it's never like, oh, I just graduated college, it's too early to get a financial advisor.
I am telling you right now, the earlier you start, the better. Because really, as far as, retirement planning, it's two things. It's time and money. The more time you have, the less money you can get away with putting, you don't need as much money because you have the time to let it grow. If you don't have the time, you have to put away more money. So the earlier you start, the better.
Yeah. I wish I really would have started early, because, I'm still growing, and we'll talk some more offline, But
it's important. And to your point, you mentioned it earlier, people don't know enough. I really think they should start teaching kids in middle school, basic budgeting, basic saving, investments. It's a lot of information and people get overwhelmed. And because they get overwhelmed, they end up doing nothing, which is the worst thing you could do.
Yeah. So you understand that part as well, like investments. You do the whole so what kind of investments are there for people? I know it's a lot, but like maybe name like 2 or 3, things that people could invest in, so that they can make more money off of their money, right?
So it really depends. Like I said, every person is different. When you try to come up with a plan, it depends on your risk tolerance, on your goals. Like, what are you looking to do? Are you looking to preserve what you already have? Income or capital preservation. Are you looking to accumulate? And anytime we sit down with someone, we first take a look at their current situation. What does the big picture look like now? And then we'll make suggestions, we'll make a couple of recommendations. And what they do with that information is up to them. Our job is to try to help them make that first step. As far as investments, it really depends. Some people don't mind risk. They could go into more risky type of investments, mutual funds, stocks. And some people don't believe in the market at all. So, and they want to stay away from the market. There's Christina. Hey. And everyone is different. It really, it's not good or bad. It just, you fill out an investor profile, you get a risk tolerance score, and based on that, we'll come up with, maybe several funds, or we'll build a portfolio and suggest a couple things depending on what you're looking for. So I can't really specifically name, 1 or 2 specific funds, because what could work for one person doesn't work for the other. It's very customized. So.
Okay. And that's good though, because it's for everyone. And I had, for me, and this is why this is good for me, because for me, I was so afraid to start with a financial advisor, because I was like, yo, I'm poor, I'm hurting, and I don't like, what money do I have to invest in my own life? And it's just like, you get used to spending everything you have. Well,
that's a problem. That's a problem. If you automate saving, it helps. If you put money away before it even gets into your checking account, so you don't see it, that it's available to be spent, that helps.
Yeah, it does, because when I see money in my account, I literally go, oh babe, what do you want? You want to use this, or you want? I start going. I can go to Target for some food, and I'll end up in the electronics section, and I'm like, oh, my wife needs this too, and I need this, so so being financially having a financial mindset, is important, and it isn't taught, but so what are some things that poor people
you're only poor if you think you are. First
you're only
of all,
poor if you think you are. Thanks, Brooke.
Yeah.
But you're right though. You're only poor if you think you are. So I'd say when I was broke. All right, so broke. Let's go
Okay.
with broke. Like
Sure.
broke is half poor, half not poor. It's like it's almost like
Broke is
drowning, but you got to
fixable.
oxygen
You can
tank.
fix broke.
You can fix broke. Oh, come on with the. Let's hashtag that. You can fix broke. Come on now. Come on. Hey, Dana, we can fix broke. We can fix broke. So for people like me, Alan, I'll put myself on the block here. Okay, let's put Alan on. I'm not gonna put myself all the way on the block, but I'll put myself on the block a little bit. So I think that uneducated on the financial literacy, just afraid to start trusting someone with my money or trusting someone with my account information. So let's talk about that first. Like, there are a lot of people who want to do better with their money, but they're afraid to even just be, it's like transparent with their money to someone, that they could trust. So how do you build that trust with people so that they can start?
Trust is huge. I mean, if people don't trust you, they're not gonna, trust you with their money.
Yeah.
You really have to work on building that trust and the relationship itself. If you think about it, it's like going to a doctor. If you know you need help, are you not gonna go to a doctor to get that help? Just out of fear, thinking, oh, I don't want them to see me naked. Well, they have to, because they have to identify what the problem is, so to speak. So similar to that, you have to kind of overcome that fear.
Yeah.
But yes, finding a good, trustworthy advisor is important. So I would say that first step is probably the hardest, but once you get over that, down the road, I'm telling you, you will be so grateful that you did it back in the day.
So get naked with your finances, people. Get naked with your finances, okay?
That's not what I said.
Hopefully no one.
It was an example.
I know that's not what Tatiana said. I just said it. I said it. Tatiana didn't say it. Don't sue her for that. Sue me. I'm just playing. But you do. Like, I actually sat with someone a couple of months ago, and we sat down, and I felt completely naked. Yeah. And and if anyone's just joining in, we're talking about being transparent with your finances and that feeling as if you were naked. Okay, so we're not talking about nakedness. We're just talking. but really, I felt so ashamed. I was like, man, I should have more money saved. I should be in this position in my life. I'm 31. Like, what's wrong with me? And I was embarrassed, but I felt almost restored after the meeting because I had a sense of direction. I knew where I needed to go. He was like, all right, Alan, you know what? Let's make these moves so that, you could be better off, and it was just a friendly, it's almost like we just met up so he could just tell me, what I needed to do, because is there a level of where you may not need a financial advisor yet, or is it more so?
I would always recommend talking to someone, even if you don't think that you're there yet. Just having the knowledge will make you more prepared for the future when you are, when you are ready. But honestly, I can't think of when. Like I said, the earlier you start, the better. And to your, you said that when you met with an advisor, you felt very open and maybe vulnerable. And I can tell you from an advisor's perspective, what we're thinking, no matter how bad the picture looks, we're thinking, I'm so glad this person is ready to change that. They're making a step now. So it's not, we don't judge because everyone's different. We've made mistakes. We've been in a bad, we've had our picture not perfect before. So the whole judgment thing, it's not there. Well, with me anyway, hopefully every advisor, we try to not judge. The important thing is coming up with a solution. How do you get out of that picture? How do you get better from now on? Just like a doctor, they're trying to make you feel better. So
you're the doctor. You're the money doctor. Ooh, you should go by the money doctor. Tatiana, the money doctor.
Yeah,
I mean,
something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how many people are just okay with going to the doctor or their first time going. Let's think about this, folks, because we're going to walk through this journey with Tatiana so that we can all end up hitting her up after the show and be like, I need you, Tatiana. So my goal is because everyone needs financial literacy. Everyone needs help financially. And I mean, people just got a free $1,200 probably. Maybe if you make a lot of money, you didn't get that $1,200. But, some people got an extra $500 for having kids. I was like, baby, let's have a kid right now, and then so we can get this money.
And tax credits. Tax
So
credits.
so our goal is to become better with our finances, and Tatiana's goal is to help us with that. So let's go to the doctor. Let's go to the doctor right now. We're at our doctor visit with Tatiana, and you know, we were having symptoms of brokenness. Like, we're broke. You know, we're sneezing some money out, and we don't realize how much money we're sneezing out right now. Let me stop using that. But you know, and when your bank account is sick, you need financial help at the end of the day. And even when it's not sick and you do have money, it's for the good people, and it's for the people that are doing, you know, worse with their money. You know, they're making bad decisions. So let's talk about the decision-making process when you're spending your money, right? So how do you spend your money? How wise are you when you spend? Do you have like a chart, and you're like, all right, I'm only going to spend $100 this month? Or how do you budget, you know?
Yeah.
That's not
so
on the list of questions.
you know, it took time to come up with a system that works for me. So what I do, I have each, you know, our income coming in twice a month, weekly. Mine looks a little different than my husband's, but whatever income comes in, I divide it into, you know, we have our food budget, we have our mortgage, we have whatever loans need, you know, are due, expenses, utilities, all the expenses listed out, and they get deducted from that income that's coming in. So as far, you said, how do we fix broke if our account is sick? You have to make sure you have something in your savings. You know, if there's one income, usually we recommend 6 months worth of bills saved up. If there's two incomes in the household, you know, maybe 3 to 4 months. Because if one loses their job, you still have the other one to rely on. Having 3 to 6 months of bills is extremely important, because if you don't, it's going to be so much harder to get ahead. Something always comes up. If you have cars, if you have kids, it is, you know, talk about an expense right there. And you have to be prepared, because otherwise, you know, it's like a mouse on a wheel. You can't jump out of it, because there's always something coming up and kind of making you backtrack. So savings is probably the first step that I would say. And as far as monthly budget, you have to make sure you allocate retirement money out of that, you know, make it work into that budget. Your expenses, you're going out, everything has to be budgeted for, because if it's not, it's chaos. And then you have no idea what's going on. At the end of the month, you're sitting there asking yourself, where did the money go? Because you didn't budget, you didn't follow the money.
Oh, come on, you did. Somebody get me a rock. I'm about to throw that, Tatiana.
It's real. You have to be real with yourself.
And that's, you're so real, Tatiana. I'm like, I always like you. I knew you was a good person. I just do it.
Hey, it is what it is. Your life's short, so.
So people not following the money, and I have a little Excel spreadsheet now that I'm trying to be more conscious of my money and my spending, and where my bills are. Like, your bills don't really change unless you pay off, you know, like your car or your credit cards or whatever. So I have a consistent, like, oh, this is the money that I'm making, you know, throughout the month, and this is the money that I have to spend. So a lot of people may have more money going out than they do coming in, and I don't know how that works. They may have to call some friends, like, hey, I need $500, call their, you know, their mom, whoever, and they're like, so they're not bringing enough money in. So what could people do? Should they investments then, right? Or what?
Well, you have to have money to invest in the first place. You know, if they have too much going out, there's two ways to fix that. You either have to come up with other ways to bring income in, or you reduce your expenses. You know, and sometimes you have to do both. Whether, you know, as far as the second income, it could be temporarily just to cover those debts that are draining your account, or you know, if you're able to kind of eliminate some of the debts and expenses, that could also increase your monthly cash flow. But sometimes you got to get creative, but it has to be done, because the longer you wait, the more you put, you know, you put it on the back burner, it gets so much harder to do it down the road, especially after you have kids. I'm telling you, the kids will get you financially, but you know, it's worth it.
It's worth it, but it can hurt. If
you're not prepared, you have to be prepared.
So you talked about like retirement and using, putting money towards retirement, right?
Yep.
What options are there? Because I know people are really afraid of what the financial industry is going to look like. Maybe in a couple of years, people are like, oh, it's going to crash, or, all of this stuff.
Right.
So what is your advice, or what do you, perceive things happening in the near future? So what do you see happening, and how should people prepare for the next 10 years? Like, I think that's a good question.
So we are in the middle of a crash right now, and
Okay.
it looks a little different than the one in 2008 or 2000, because it affected the whole world globally. Not like in 2008, it was mainly the mortgage crisis. It's not a specific industry, and we've never had something like this before. So there's a lot of chaos going on, but over time, the most important thing I think is that that first step. Right now is a good time to start investing because the market is down. The stocks are, the prices are lower. If you've been thinking and waiting, now is the time, because the point is to buy low, sell high. Well, right now everything's low.
Yeah.
So if, for anyone who's been looking or thinking to kind of start an IRA or an investment account, right now is a good time, just because, yes, the market crashed, but over time, in the next, 20, 30, 40 years, it will come back up because the market always recovers. We don't know how long it will take. And retirement is a long-term game. You're not investing for a year or two.
Right.
Down the road, years later, you will, it will recover and you will make money. You just got to start at some point. Because if you wait, nobody knows where the bottom is. And another 5 years, well, you just lost 5 years of, potential gains.
Right. So. Okay. Does it take a lot of money to start, planning for your retirement? Is it like a $20 thing, or is it like a $200 thing?
So you can start, open a basic retirement account with $500 and then maybe put $50 a month into it. And $50, yes, it's still money. It's a lot of money to some people, but if you can maybe pull it out of going out, or, seeing an extra movie out, or whatever other expense that you can eliminate, and redirect that money towards retirement, I think it'll be worth it long term. But yeah, you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to have a lot of money to start. You can start with very little and build it up over time.
Okay. And so, like, I want to know, for retirement, right? Is there a certain way we plan, like, oh, I'll need this much money, for my retirement? Is there a way that we could kind of figure it out? Because it's different for everyone.
Right. Yeah. So we have calculators, so to speak, where we plug in your numbers, how old you are, when do you want to retire, how much money will you need in retirement, how much money will you want to have, to live off of in retirement. And that's your goal. And then we come up with a plan. How do we get to that amount?
Okay.
What does it look like starting today, depending on how much time you have? What does it look like? And kind of, play with the numbers, so to speak. But yes, everybody's plan is different. First, we try to identify current situation and what the goal is, and then put or make suggestions how to get there.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't want you to drop any names, okay? But could you give us an example of maybe someone that you've done business with that, like they came to you, they were like, hey, Tatiana, I know someone said earlier they've been working with you since they were like 18, 16, what was it? 21. She started at 21, Christina, right? I don't want to use Christina though. So let's just say, not anyone but Christina, but like, give us an example of like what the process looks like, jumping in. So we're already becoming aware that we need a financial advisor. We need help planning for our retirement. We need help finding investments. And before you answer that question, do you do anything with stocks and trades and stuff? Or are you familiar with that?
Well, of course I'm familiar with that.
Of course I am.
Yeah. So mostly, most of my clients, we go through mutual funds for investments. We are able, we have a platform, we can do individual stocks if that's what the client wants. It just depends on what they're looking for, what they're looking to do. Back to Christina. She's actually a realtor, and I can brag on her. She's not going to mind me, using her as an example. Christina came to me maybe like a year, 2 years ago, and I was impressed at how much she wanted to learn. Being so young, usually at 20, 21-year-old, they don't care for financial planning. They don't care to put money away. They're just trying to enjoy their money now. And with her, she made that first step and she understood the importance. She was surrounded by a good, group of mentors, and they advised her, hey, talk to someone, get something started. And I'm grateful that she came to me and I was able to help her with that. But what we were talking about earlier, you start small, you open an account, you put money away. And with her being a realtor, she's able to build that over time. But you got to start somewhere. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Keep the end in mind, but you got to start somewhere. Like
and the younger you are, the better.
So I'm 31, so it's kind of too late. It's too late to apologize. All right, yeah, it's too late for me right now. No, it's never too late. But exactly. I do want so we're gonna talk more. It's okay, because I want to. Everyone should want to prepare the future or to have a better road for their children or their children's children, like to provide for their family and have money, for when you go away, like when you're not here anymore, right? Like
legacy. You want to leave a legacy for your family.
So what does that look like? Legacy money? Is it $1 million or is it? I know legacy money.
It really depends. A lot of people they will use insurance products to leave a legacy for their family, or they'll leave their IRAs. If something happens to you and you have your IRAs, well, it's your family inherits that.
Yeah.
But you would be surprised. Most people do not worry, but they do try to give their kids a head start. And we have strategies where you can open an investment account for your child or grandchild. And obviously, because they're so young, they're going to end up with so much more because they're so, they're little and they have the time to let that money grow for them. I admire parents that think ahead for their kids and give them a head start. I love it. I think it's important, and obviously if your parents didn't do that for you, that's fine. You can still take care of yourself and start, investing and planning for yourself. But there, if you have the means to start it for your kids, that's important. Okay,
that's awesome. And I think everyone after watching this today is going to get started on their financial.
So. Right now is a great time to start actually with the market.
It is. It's the perfect time. Like it's the perfect time because no one's out spending frivolously.
You can't. Everything's closed down. Even if you wanted to go to the movies, you can't.
Right. And I think a lot of people may be like their spending is so bad that they're online shopping like crazy right now. Probably like they took.
I hope not.
Let's talk on this. So this $1,200 that mostly a lot of people got. They could use some of that money to invest in their future right now. Right.
Yeah.
Would you advise to do the whole thing or half of it or what?
I mean, it depends on their financial situation. If it's between a retirement account and putting food on the table, obviously you got to put food on the table first.
Yeah.
If this $1,200 is extra, so to speak, and you can put it towards something else, then we should talk. It just depends on what that money is needed for, but just please don't spend it online. Not on shopping online. That is not a good idea. That's not what the money is for.
Right. So y'all heard that. Like, don't get mad when you don't have any money left next month. If you're not depending, like I know a lot of people may have lost their jobs or they didn't have money at that point in time, but that $1,200. I would say like I've been broke before. Like I've been broke to the point where I had no money, right? And not even in the savings or anything, right? If I were to die, I would just be broke. My tombstone would say broke. But man with the dreams. But and you don't want to be that person. And I had to really look myself in the mirror and say, you don't want to just be the man with the dreams and have nothing backing you. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be like the dollar. You don't want to have when you don't have gold backing you, you're just nothing. So it's important to get serious about your finances. And I'm going to say this again and again and again, because I know this for myself that this is what we have to do. And this is why we're having this conversation with Tatiana. So I have on the bottom right now, please post any questions for us. Leave them in the comments. If you have questions, I don't want to hog the mic. And I know a lot of people may have questions. So if you do have any questions, please post them here. Do not be embarrassed. You can say my friend, my mom, or you don't have to say your mom.
Asking for a friend.
Ask for a friend. Yeah, ask for a friend.
Or, I mean, if someone thinks of questions after the interview, they're welcome to reach out to me on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever.
Okay, and I'll make sure I got that scrolling again. But yeah, please, like, her information is out there. Reach out to her, and we'll answer your questions here as well. Let me get to my next question. So, what are the top mistakes people make with their finances based on what you've experienced? And that's where I was getting at before.
Not doing anything. I really think, not people get overwhelmed with fear, not having enough knowledge, or think that it's too expensive. You need to have a lot of money to invest, and they end up not doing anything and just spending their money on unimportant things. And I think that's probably the number one mistake. Because we'll meet with someone and they'll say, "Oh, I should have done this 20 years ago." Well, you should have. But
you should have.
Yeah, I don't say that.
You don't
actually say that. But people realize you look back in time, you can't bring time back.
Right, you can't. That was another gem, everybody. You can't bring time back. Tatiana out here, I need to go ahead and pay her for everything she's saying. She's dropping bars. So David asked, is it better to do a Roth IRA or a traditional if you are going to be retired in the next 20 to 30 years?
So a lot of people do both to diversify how they will pay taxes. With the Roth, it's after tax. So you're paying taxes on a Roth IRA right now. And then when you distribute down the road, it's tax free, as opposed to it's the opposite for traditional IRA. You get a deduction right now. So you're not paying any taxes right now, but you will have to pay it down the road. It seems like a lot of people prefer the Roth nowadays, only because the taxes are low, at their all-time low. So, the logic behind it, let me go ahead and pay the taxes today, and then I don't have to worry about it down the road.
Yeah.
The problem with the Roth, first of all, you have to qualify, it's only $6,000 a year maximum. And even then, if you're making too much money, you can't even have a Roth.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. So with the traditional, it's not a bad tool. It's just that, you will have to pay taxes later on, and we don't know where taxes will be in 20, 30 years. Probably higher, but we don't know how much. So
yeah.
What's a good company to start with? With mine, of course.
And what's your company's name?
I'm with New York Life Insurance Company.
All right. And
you have to make sure, you have to make sure you work with a company that has been around for a while and is financially stable. Because in 20, 30 years from now, they have to be there. They have to deliver on their promise. And I know my company will, but we've seen companies go bankrupt before. So you have to make sure you know who you're working with. That's also important.
Yeah. Dana has that's not a question. It's a hashtag. You can't bring time back. Thank you, Dana, for the hashtag. Those were two great questions. Thank you, David and Roscoe. That was great. Anybody else got any questions for us? For Miss Tatiana, not for me. I'm not the money doctor.
I have a question for you, actually.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, let's go. We're going to get real. What is a financial decision that you're proud of? I know you've mentioned a mistake, but maybe, you've done something that you're actually proud of, and now you're seeing the fruit of that labor.
There's nothing I'm proud of about my finances.
What?
No, I'm just joking. No. So what I've done is entrusted my wife with my money.
That is very smart.
Yes. I literally cannot put money in my own savings account. If I can access it from my phone, it is a terrible thing. And I've learned that, and I'm just being transparent. I learned that even with like credit cards, I had to give my wife my credit cards. And like, it was at the point when with starting school and stuff, and I wasn't working, it was real, and I was, a college student. I'm 30, 28, 29 years old at that time. It was just like, oh man, like this this is not cool. This is not good. I got out the military in 2011. So I didn't plan, for that either. I got out broke. A lot of veterans do that. They get out the military with no money saved. My dad always warned me not to do that. So I've always had to struggle with money, and money has always had to struggle with me. But but I gave my wife my credit cards, and I was like, hey, look, like, take these, because I will literally buy anything. I'll go to the grocery store and buy like $100 worth of food when I wasn't supposed to. I was just supposed to get some chicken or something. And then, like, with savings, yeah, I come out. What you say? I come out with.
You come out with 3 chicken, or
3 chickens. Yeah, I went for 1. I come out with 3, and then I'll go buy some snacks, some candy, and just spend money recklessly. So yeah, I gave my wife my credit card, and then when it came to savings, like, I made her pretty much bill me. So she's like a bill collector. She's like, "Where's my money?" And I'm like, "That's my money," And then when I'm like, "Hey, I need this money," and she's like, "Well, what did you do with your money?" Like, so it's almost like, you have to deal with it until you get paid again, Alan. You got to leave this money right here. And it's been so good, Tatiana, because I've forgotten about a lot of money that I've given her. So, like, I don't see it in my bank account. Yep. So I'm not like, "Oh man, I got this money right here." So she'll be like, "Oh yeah, you got this," and I'm like, "Oh man, like, send me some money." Like, she's like, "No."
So the lesson here is to entrust your spouse with your money. Is that what you're saying?
Or
yes. That's what worked for you anyway.
Yeah.
And so the first step was to identify that you need help, right? Is that what I'm hearing? And then actually doing something about it. Awesome.
Yeah.
See, aren't you in a much better position now than you were before?
I am. And I wish I would have started, like you said, people say, I wish I would have started 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. So for people out there, if you don't have a spouse, you got Tatiana, and if you do have a spouse, you still have Tatiana, because this
or a friend or a mentor, just find someone that can help you in that situation.
Yeah. Got another question here.
Is New York Life and Fidelity competitors? So New York Life is an insurance company. We do have an investment side as well, which is what Fidelity mostly known for. Fidelity sort of focus, from what I understand, they focus on market-based type of planning, and we do that, but we also have an insurance side as well. So just not quite a direct competitor. I mean, we do some of the same things, and we actually offer some Fidelity funds through New York Life as well, but we do slightly more as well.
Okay, good question, David. Keep bringing them out, David. David's going to be on the show, I think, next month, so it's going to be awesome.
Nice.
So, any more questions out there? And I'm going to continue with this one. Was there ever a time as a financial advisor, because this is the Purpose Pod, and we want to push people purposely with the personal and with the professional. So was there ever a time when you wanted to give up as a financial advisor, or has it always been like a cakewalk for you?
Nothing is a cakewalk. Everything requires work. But because I'm enjoying it so much, it's not painful. It doesn't feel like, thanks, David. It doesn't feel like a lot of work. And you have days where you're doubting yourself, or things are going down. And just like anyone, on a bad day, I think about nurses, because they're on their feet 12 hours. They're dealing with, crazy stuff and patients and life or death situations. So that, I don't know, thinking about them and people in the medical field in general, it makes me feel better, because everybody has a bad day. It's how do you push through it? And the sun goes up and the sun goes down every day. Everything shall pass, as they say. This too shall pass, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And you just have to be prepared for both.
That's why I was waiting for Pastor Tatiana to come on out here,
Yeah.
Doctor, you're a doctor, pastor, financial. I'm just playing.
No, it's life. If you're enjoying what you're doing, to me, it doesn't feel like a lot of, painful labor. It's not, because I love working with people. I love helping them with whatever they may need help. So
yeah. We got another question here.
Yes, we are able to move funds from Fidelity to New York Life.
Yeah, Dana, so go ahead and call 1-800-TATIANA today to get your finances in order. But yeah, so you can switch. Oh, Tim has a question. I skipped that one. Sorry, Tim.
what are some tips for teenagers for financial planning? That's a good one. Once again, it goes back to timing. If you're looking to get started as a teenager, now, once again, it depends, assuming that you have a job. If you don't have a lot of bills yet, put away as much as you can into savings. If you have a job, you can have, a retirement account already. So put away as much as you can and get that habit going. Because later on, as you're making more money, you'll be able to add more into your savings, which will build your account down the road. But budgeting is a big one. And I really think, I haven't been in middle school for forever, but I really think they should teach that. I don't think that they do nowadays. They don't teach kids enough on budgeting, basics of investments, different, types of mutual funds, just basics. Because you come out, you get a job after college and you have no idea what's going on. Then obviously that's where advisors come in. But if you know kind of ahead of time, what you should be doing and start early, I think people would benefit if they started teaching us, in middle school or high school.
Yeah. And you make a good point, because they have academic advisors in school, but they don't have financial advisors. Like, why not incorporate that even in the system where, the state, I'm just giving you a dream here, but the state, pays people like you to go to schools and to teach students. Because when you graduate high school, you have years of mistakes that you're about to make, and it'd be great to have someone like you right there, on when they get their diploma and they're like, all right, you're about to go into the industry, or even before that, because you're working in high school, you're getting jobs and stuff like that, and it's never too early to start saving money. And I think it's just that people don't know, or the access. A lot of people don't have access to people like you. They don't know about you. Financial advisor, that wasn't in my vocabulary when I was in high school. I was just worried about sports and hanging out, so, a lot of parents don't teach that. So I guess your advice to parents would be to make sure that
have that conversation. Yeah.
And you can't just have a conversation with a kid like, oh, save your money. You got to do it as well, right? Your parents have to,
of course, lead by example. Of course.
By example. So parents, if you have teenagers, or even if they're not teenagers, it's never too early to learn about money, and how to use money and save money. Like, just bring your kids with you when you do this. Let them see. Because a lot of kids don't even understand, if their parents are struggling. They don't understand, like, the parents are providing food, the kids are wearing clothes, they have a car maybe, and they got a place to live. So the kids are oblivious to their parents' financial situation, So let me see here. Oh, we already asked that question. Sorry, that was a wrong skip. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So yes, those are good questions. Anybody else have questions here? We're in the question phase. And if you don't, Tatiana, do you have any other advice that you want to give to the folks here today? We can go ahead and reiterate the direction that they need to take. I'm going to go ahead and put your information here for people who are serious.
As far as advice, I'll go back to, we mentioned it earlier, making that first step, having that initial conversation, whether you're going to do anything with that advisor or not. The important thing is having the knowledge. And then obviously hopefully you will, make the first step and start putting money away, and even, teach your kids. If you have kids, lead by example. You can't say one thing if you're not, you can't teach them if you're not doing that same thing.
Right.
And kids pick up on that. They know when you're lying. So don't do that. Don't be that parent.
Don't be that parent. Be a better parent. That's awesome, Tatiana. Like, this is really good information, because we live in a society where it's all about spending. And I think that's why they don't incorporate, financial advising, to people. Because they want people to make bad decisions. They want people to get high interest loans, high interest credit cards, instead of having a IRA. They don't want people to have a savings account. They don't want people to have investments out there. So society wants us to spend money. Like,
exactly right.
I don't think they thought like, oh, this $1,200 that we're going to give people plus this $500 on top for each kid. I don't think they were like, oh, we want them to put this in their savings account. They were like, no, we want them to go spend it in the economy right after we let them out of quarantine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Cool beans. If we don't have any more questions for Tatiana, please email her or contact her on LinkedIn if you have personal questions that you don't want to ask here. Like she said, now is always the right time to start planning your finances, and it starts with speaking with a financial advisor who knows the industry. Like, I don't know anything about saving finances except for what you've told me today and what I've heard throughout, my years. But you're the specialist in this, so why not? Like, people, it's crazy. We go on Ask Google. We go to Google and we're like, hey Google, I have symptoms of this. What is this? And then they see like, oh, you could be dying from this and that and the third. And it's like you get the wrong evaluation, or and so it's better to go to someone who knows instead of going to your best friend who's like, hey girl, just save your money, just do this with your money. Go to someone who's been through the rigorous training and the educational system to teach you this, to prepare information for you. Go to someone that knows. So I'm not going to preach that much.
I did want to bring up one item, when you were asking for one piece of advice. Another thing that I wanted to stress is if your employer offers a 401k plan and a match, please make sure you maximize that, because it's free money you're leaving on the table if you don't contribute to a 401k. And just like, with you, it's automated. It goes out of your paycheck before you even see it. And over time, it really does grow. So, whoever your 401k provider is at work, if you have the opportunity, definitely contribute to a 401k. And hopefully your company matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have a 401k at work, you can open your own, IRA with a financial institution, as my own or whichever. But usually the match is a big one because it's free money.
Free money. So don't leave money on the table.
Yes.
Jasmine says, but I need to build. Yeah, Jasmine, I'm telling you, Tatiana right here. You see, she got her IG right here, LinkedIn right here. Go ahead and hit her up. She'll get you straight, and then we'll need your testimonial. Of course, your review, just like Tatiana's clients and friends have posted on Facebook already how great she is. They already vouched for her. So nice. And I'm bringing her on the show, and I'm not going to bring anybody on the show that I don't trust first and foremost. So yeah.
This was fun. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Tatiana. And I hope that everyone who has questions, please contact Tatiana. Please. If you need her information and you just can't see the thing scrolling across the screen, contact me and I will give you her information as well. Tatiana, I hope you have a great day, and thank you for coming on the Purpose Pod, and I look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you. We'll keep in touch. Bye.
So this has been another episode of the Purpose Pod. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Purpose Pod. Tatiana is great, and her information is right here. If you're not following me on Facebook, I have more Purpose Pod videos coming out soon. I have more great things happening here. I'm about to put my Instagram. I'm about to put matter of fact, there's my website. But yeah, so if you're not following Tatiana, if you're not following me, please follow us, subscribe, and reach out to Tatiana, because this money thing is serious. Take your money seriously. Go to the money doctor, Tatiana. But yes, Brunch and Ties with Brunch and Heels is coming back soon. And lastly, quick plug, Alan Levi Speaks has written a book. So please go ahead and get your copy today. But that's all, folks. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this conversation and live your life to the fullest, but save your money. Peace.